Picture the scene, a lavish Nollywood rap party, champagne flutes clinking like fragile promises, when suddenly, a scream pierces the night. Blood on the white silk gown of a rising starlet. Not fake movie blood, oh no. Real crimson, warm and accusing. And at the center, Timini, his hands trembling, whispering her name like a curse, Sonia Uche. But was it an accident, or the first strike in a war of lovers turned lethal? What if their sizzling on-screen chemistry wasn't just sparks, it was the fuse to a bomb that's been ticking since their eyes first locked? Tonight on your channel name, we are peeling back the velvet curtain on the deadliest duo in Tinsel Town, Timini and Sonia. A love story soaked in seduction, sabotage, and secrets that could send shockwaves from Lagos to Hollywood. Would they rise from the ashes as power couple supreme, or drag each other down in a blaze of scandal? Hang on tight, because the gut punch revelation at the end. It's the kind that flips everything you thought you knew, leaving you wide-eyed, whispering no way to your screen. You ready to uncover the darkness behind the glamour? Let's plunge in, but remember, some truths cut deeper than a director's knife. Every saga of forbidden fire needs its flamekeepers, and Timini. He's the devilishly handsome inferno wrapped in designer labels and dimpled grins. This man's a walking paradox, the brooding anti-hero who commands the screen with a single arched brow, turning low-budget indies into cult obsessions and rom-coms into fever dreams. Think of him as Nollywood's rogue prince, often young by a family tragedy that fueled his hunger for the hustle, clawing from extra roles in dusty video halls to A-list glory with blockbusters that blend street grit and silver-tongue seduction. Off the reels, Timini's an enigma in loafers, charismatic as sin, with a whisper that could talk a nun out of her habit. But dig deeper, and the cracks show. Whispers from wardrobe racks and catering tents paint him as the ultimate lone wolf, a string of midnight flings that vanish like smoke, leaving lipstick stains on hotel sheets and unanswered DMs in inboxes. He loves the chase, a former intimacy coordinator confided over late-night suya, her voice dropping like she's sharing state secrets. But commitment. That's the role he auditions for and always ghosts. Linked to vixens from viral vloggers to veiled socialites, Timini's dodged the boyfriend label like a pro, fueling fan theories of a hidden vow, no chains until the perfect storm hits. Little did he know, she wasn't coming, she was already crashing in, fierce and unrelenting. Then there's Sonia Uche, the siren with a spine of shattered glass, beautiful, broken, and brilliantly unbreakable. She's not your typical damsel, no, Sonia's the dragon in stilettos, breathing fire on every glass ceiling she encounters. From her breakout as the sassy sidekick in ensemble cast to helming her own empire of empowerment epics, think tales of women who weaponize their wounds into weapons, she's redefined the game. Producing, directing, dropping vlogs that rack up millions while schooling trolls on self-worth. That's Sonia, a one-woman revolution, her feed a fortress of fierce affirmations hiding scars from battles fought in boardrooms and bedrooms. But behind the boss glow, a labyrinth of lost loves. Insiders, think the stylists who tread her armor and the drivers who ferry her fury, mama of a heart mapped with minefields. Fleeting romances with fellow thespians that imploded in tabloid infernos, a ghosted engagement that left her ghostwriting her own healing hymns. Sonia doesn't fall, she dives, one ex-scriptwriter spilled in a voice note that crackled with envy. And when she surfaces, she's evolved, but the depths linger. She's the queen of cryptic carousels, sunset silhouettes caption lessons in letting go. But her diehards decode the subtext, stolen weekends that soured, promises pixelated into oblivion. Shipped with silver foxes and screen idols alike, nothing ignited her orbit. Until the collision that neither saw coming. Until him, the spark that threatened to consume them both. Their words didn't merge in a fairy tale meet-cute or a scripted screen test. No, this blaze erupted in the pressure cooker of a passion project gone perilously personal, played, a thought thriller where deception dances with desire. Timini as the cunning kingpin, weaving webs of lies for the ultimate score. Sonia as the sharpshooting sleuth, unraveling his empire thread by treacherous thread. Casting call chemistry. Electric from the jump, auditions where their banter crackled like live wires, leaving the room buzzing. But production. That's when the real bled into reality. Night after grueling night on rain-slicked Lagos sets, the air hummed with something unspoken. A boom operator, let's dub him Mike, for the shadows he lurks in, caught the first flicker, then huddled over a flickering monitor, dissecting a botched take, her laughter slicing through his guarded growl. It was intimate, he messaged, fingers flying. Like they were directing each other, or undressing souls. By dawn breaks, boundaries crumbled. A quick coffee run stretched to stolen hours in a corner booker, trading tales of triumphs and traumas over Accra and Akamo. The crew clocked it, Timini's usual aloofness melting into lingering touches, the hand steadying her on a wobbly scaffold, her gaze holding his heartbeat too bold during blocking the turning point. A storm forced shutdown, location flooded, egos frayed. Holed up in a makeshift green room turned confessional, wine loosening tongues and inhibitions. Sonia, midrant on a roll that played her for a fool, locks eyes with Timini. You get it, don't you? The mask we wear till it chokes us. He nods, voice velvet rough, every damn day. But with you? Feels like I can breathe. The kiss that followed. Volcanic. Not the choreographed kind, raw, reckless, against the props table, script scattering like confetti from a shattered vow. From there, it was a covert courtship, disguised drop-offs at dawn, burner apps buzzing with codes like cue the rain scene for balcony rendezvous, now. Leaks started small, a pap snap of intertwined fingers vanishing from feet, her earring dangling from his rear view in a story gone rogue. But the dam broke during a clandestine escape, his sleek speedboat slicing through obsidian waters of Takwe Bay, high in his arms as bioluminescent waves lit their laughter. This is us, he murmured, tracing her jaw. No filters, no fakes. Fans' frenzy followed, edits splicing their scenes into symphonies of what if, hashtags trending like wildfires. Played wrapped with whispers of an Oscar nod for their inferno, but the real plot. It was just igniting, and the villains were circling, cue the carnage, because in Nollywood's jungle, love's a luxury laced with landmines. Timini's inner circle. A viper's nest of vested interest. His powerhouse agent, a shark in civil row, views commitment as career kryptonite, single cells, baby. Hearts break, tickets sell out. So when whispers of the one hit, panic protocols activate, stage spottings with starlets at upscale spots, decoy DMs to distract the diggers. But Sonia. She's no pawn in his pageant. A confrontation in his penthouse suite, crystal shattering like trust, where she draws the line, I'm not your plot device, Timini. Ride or rot. He chooses ride, but the recoil hits hard. Enter the ghost, his parade of past paramours, led by a venomous vixen, a director's darling turned dealmaker, scorned when he bailed mid-bliss. She strikes first, doctored diaries dumped online, painting him as a predator in pinstripes. He'll chew her up and spit her out, the post-pass, laced with evidence that's all smoke, no fire. Sonia's fortress holds, she counters with clapbacks classy as cutlery, but then her own phantoms rise. A shadowy suitor from her indie days, bankrolled her breakout but bankrupted by her boat, resurfaces with a vendetta venomous as viper bite. She played me for parts, he howls to hungry hacks, receipts raining like recriminations. Coincidence? Hardly. Turns out, this jilted John and Timini's agent. Bedfellows in grudge, a syndicate scheming to sizzle their spark. The siege intensifies. Locations leak like sieves, accidental invites to rival romps where Timini flirts for the flashbulbs. Sonia shoots sabotage subtle, props misplaced, lines fed to foes. Paranoia proliferates, is that extra with the earpiece a spy? The caterer's friendly chit-chat a probe. Fan fronts fracture, shippers scripting fanfics of forever, skeptics seeding subreddits with scam alert sludge. Views vamp up for both, a poison chalice, her channel crest career waves, his endorsements eclipse, but sleep. Shattered. Therapy transcripts teased in trades, whispered of wristband words against the witching hour woes. Timini fights filthy, anonymous audits on the agent's accounts, unearthing unholy alliances. Sonia strikes smarter, a sit-down sting, luring the ex to a reconciliation rigged with recorders. Admit it, she coos, camera concealed. He cracks, confessions cascading of coordinated carnage. But the apex assault. Premier pandemonium foreplayed. Spotlights sear as they stride the carpet, hands hushed but hearts hammering. Applause avalanche, best on-screen hit since time immemorial. But backstage. a blade in the bouquet. The vixen vulture corners Sonia, bow out, or watch him bleed, starting with that yacht vid we swiped. Timini overhears, erupts, a melee of masks torn, mics dropped. They flee into the fray, his whip fast whip vanishing into velvet night. Sanctuary. A secluded studio in the suburbs, barricaded with blueprints of backlash. We burn brighter together, she breathes, bandaging a phantom bruise. Let the hyenas howl. United, they unleash a preemptive purge, proxies posting proofs of the plots, turning predators to prey. Blogs backped, alliances atomize. But victories veneer. Veiled in venom yet. Yet here's the helix that helices your headspace, buried in Plate's bonus bureau, that yacht odyssey, unedited and unhinged, lacks a leviathan. Not mere murmurs of matrimony, but a manifesto, Timini unveiling his underworld, that side hustled scripting shadow scripts for syndicates, funding his freedom from the fame factory. It's dirty, he confesses, waves weeping. But it built this. Sonia's shock. Shattered into solidarity, her own abyss. A forged favor from that financier fiend, falsified funds funneled to fake her first flop into a hit, a dead dormant but deadly. We are both blemished, she admits, anchoring him. But together. Unbreakable. The tape. Not just pilfered, pirated by the pair's plotter, the agent allying with her ancient adversary to auction it to the abyss. Ransom repos, millions, or your marks melt. They don't deposit, they detonate. Forge a facsimile footage flood, forces framing the foes as the frauds, flooding feeds with feigned fury. Feeds frenzy, forgeries fingered, originals obscured. In the inferno. They infiltrate, Timini's tech-savvy sidekick, a hacker honed in hidden halls, hacks back the hard drive. Victory. Volatile. The vid vaults, but venom lingers, a veiled voice note from the vixen, vowing, this tango's terminal. And the apex, the aftershock that'll have you auditing every alliance, that's blood at the bash. No accident, no actor's corn syrup. A slicer slipped into Sonia's stem by the syndicate's silent sentinel, a graze-gum grave, grazing her glamour but grazing her grit. Timini, mistaking malice for mishap, manhandles the messenger, but mercy. Minimal. Hospital hush conceals the horror, not just a cut, but a clue, engraved on the edge, play or perish. The counter. Cataclysmic. Sonia, stitched but seething, scripts a sting-up supreme, load a lot to a peace pally in a phantom film fest, fed force finals of the footage. As they lunge for the low. Lights low, lenses live, a live-streamed smackdown, confessions coerced at crosshair point. Agent arrested mid-monologue, ex-eclipsed in cuffs. The world. Worships. Heroes of the heartbreak, headlines hail. But the buried bab. That yacht yarn. It wasn't solo salvage. Sonia's secret scribe. A sibling shadow, sworn to safeguard her sons of youth, who spiked the steel to shield them. Now, he's the wild card, whispering of a wider web, webs woven worldwide, where their woes were just the warm-up. Wedding whispers. Wafting, with a waterfront vow planned in whispers. But is bliss the endgame, or bait for the bigger beast baying at their bliss? Damn, what a whirlwind of wickedness and winds, eh? If this toxic tango's got your tea steaming, thunder that like, spill in comments, ride with Team Sonia through the thorns, or bet on the bust. Subscribe for the sequel scoops, next drop dissect if the siblings savior or sabotage supreme. Bell on, share the shock, and etch this, in the spotlight slaughterhouse, loves the deadliest director's cut. Stay savage, squad.